Hi everyone, this is Zaina and I'm going to show you how to make crabless crab cakes made mostly from artichoke hearts. So if you'd like to see this recipe, keep watching. So we're first going to start by making the vegan horseradish or tartar sauce. So for this we're going to start out with a horseradish, which you'll find in the refrigerator section next to the fresh dill. You're going to peel it and grate it, and you need a tablespoon of this for the recipe. Now we're just gonna finely chop some fresh dill. You could also use dried dill, but the fresh dill really makes it taste a lot more like the traditional tartar sauce that you would find pre-made in the store. Now, probably the most important ingredient for this is the Just Mayo or any other eggless vegan mayonnaise that you can find. You need 2/3 a cup of this. Now just add this to the bowl with the horseradish and dill, as well as the lemon juice, salt, and pepper, and then mix it all together. And I'll leave all of the measurements below in the description box, so don't worry about that. And there you have it, very nice and easy, vegan horseradish sauce or tartar sauce. That way you don't have to worry all day about finding one on the shelf, you can just make it yourself. Now we're going to move on to the bulk of the recipe and actually make the crab cakes. So to start off, I am draining a can of artichoke hearts. I'm only using 1 can because I'm only doing half of the recipe because I'm only cooking for 1 person. So once you've got your artichokes all drained, you are going to want to lay them out and pat them as dry as you can get them. Don't worry about getting them extremely dry because we're actually going to add some of that liquid that we reserved back to the crab meat. And sorry about the shaky camera, I fix it later on. So now that the artichokes are all relatively dry, you will now need to cut them up as small as you can get them. And here I'm just roughly chopping them, but you really want to get them as small as possible. That's what's going to help keep the crab cakes from falling apart. If you have really big flaky pieces of artichoke, it'll be a lot easier for your cake to fall apart while it's frying. So now go ahead and transfer the chopped artichokes into a large mixing bowl, and this is the bowl that we're going to mix the rest of our ingredients into, so we'll just chop everything and add it to this bowl. Moving on to chopping up the celery, you'll need about half a stalk of celery if you're doing this in half. If you're doing the full recipe, you'll need a whole stalk of celery. So again, just cut this actually smaller than what you see me cutting it here. I'm just kind of rushing because this video took a really long time to make, but the smaller your pieces, the better the chance of your cake staying together. Now finally dice the shallot, and don't forget to peel the shallot all the way. You don't want any of that thick purple skin inside of your crab cake. And here I'm just adding some pink sea salt as well as black pepper and Old Bay seasoning, which is vegan. But if you happen to not be able to find Old Bay seasoning, you can find a recipe online to make it yourself. Some coconut sugar and lemon juice, and just go ahead and stir that all together. And here is where I added that little bit of leftover artichoke liquid, and now you'll add in the garbanzo bean flour to help it all stick together. And just look at that mixture. It doesn't look too far off from crab meat, now does it? Okay, now for making the actual crab cakes. You're going to take 1/4 cup of the mixture and pat it down into a small cake. Now gently and delicately place the crab cake in a garbanzo bean flour mixture, and then dunk it into some almond milk or another plant milk, and then directly into the panko breadcrumbs. You'll want to fry these in a shallow bit of oil, a little bit more than what I have here. You actually want the oil to be taking up the entire surface of the pan at least. And you're just gonna fry it about 2 minutes on each side or until they're golden brown. I'm gonna trust that you know how to fry things pretty well, but if not and you'd like for me to go into more detail, I can try doing that in another tutorial. So once they're all golden brown, I will take them out and set them on a cooling rack while I get the greens ready to put down on the plate and serve it up with the tartar sauce that we made from the beginning. And here is the inside shot of the crab cake. These are honestly so delicious. They're a great appetizer. You can make a bunch in advance and then fry them up when you're ready. And honestly, I only make these ever so often because they're so good. So I hope you enjoy.